It's just too awkward.
Schools are segregated.
Kids aren't exposed to people with disabilities.
There's a lot of misconceptions still out there today.
The playground can be a very overwhelming place.
I am the co-founder of Shane's Inspiration. I'm Shane's dad, as a matter of fact. Shane was born in 1997 with a condition called spinal muscular atrophy, which, had he lived, would have relegated him to a wheelchair for the rest of his life. So one of the things that Shane gave us in his short life was an awareness that we didn't have before about the need for accessible play at playgrounds. And so what you had at the time were a lot of kids with disabilities who were very sad and kind of wanting to avoid the playground because it really wasn't the greatest place to go.
Scott and Catherine Williams are my dear friends, and they gave birth to a beautiful boy named Shane. And so they set out to create a memorial project where all children of all abilities had a chance to come together and to play. We have 32 playgrounds that are in the city and the county of Los Angeles. We have 44 playgrounds total. The thing we didn't anticipate when we started was the impact that this mission would have on typically developing children.
I always get those children who are very emotional and maybe, feeling that compassion that they had for their buddies and that longingness to see them again. When I see them tell me that, wow, my buddy was just like me and I want to see my buddy again. And I really talk to the students about how to pay it forward. The gifts that they got from their buddy and the gifts that they gave their buddy. And when I say gifts, they talk about how they gave the gift of play, the gift of freedom, the gift of laughter, and in return they learned patience, they learned acceptance. So taking all those gifts and then how that would look in their school, what would kindness and patience and acceptance look like in school? They've made friends, they've learned to not be nervous around children or adults with disabilities, and they carry that and pay that forward as they go on.
So I'm Kim Morgan, and this is my daughter Samantha Morgan. Samantha has Prader-Willi syndrome, and along with that diagnosis is a lack of social skills. So it's hard for her to make friends. And here she can come and feel comfortable and have a buddy and play with and interact.
I have candy.
And have candy. And she loves the special equipment they have. It's nice to come here and we have friends and we can talk to other parents. It's you come as a community and you support one another.
Shane's Inspiration is a community where people of all abilities can come together and not be judged and be accepted for who they are, no matter what their challenge is. At Shane's Club, at our My Play Club play dates, we have a time during the play date where we get everyone together to share good news. And it might be someone's birthday, it might be I got to go to Disneyland. I had this one day, this little boy whose name was Aiden, and he came up to share good news, and I had no idea what he was going to share. He was all of maybe 5, 6, 7 years old. And I said, Aiden, what do you have to share? And he lifted up his shirt and he showed this big scar across his chest and he said, I got a heart transplant. I was just like speechless. And all the kids were like, that is so cool. And just the joy, he was just surrounded by such joy, with that great news. And it's a part of our lives, and I'm definitely changed for the better. This chapter of my life is probably the most fulfilling chapter I've had so far.
Shane's Inspiration is the vehicle that allows children of all abilities to get to know one another, to connect. In the words of the children, we're all the same. We may, do things a little bit differently, but inside we're all the same. And that's really the lesson that the children learn when they have a day on the playground together to connect.
I always say, if you're right-handed, raise your left hand. And people have to think about that for a moment. And so it just brings to mind that we are all wonderful human beings on this planet. We just need to understand and give people the ability to be who they are. And that's what I think social inclusion is about being accepting of others. There's still those barriers out there, and I think that the work that Shane's Inspiration does in the playgrounds provide a venue, a vehicle to educate the typically able community, so those biases that I just told you about that are still out there will eventually dissolve and not be part of the social fabric. Go out socially, I'm sure there's times where they're not welcomed, and here they are, there's complete acceptance. And it's great to see on those parents' faces when they can actually see their child on the playground, again, is sometimes for the first time, just swinging and seeing the smile on their child's face. Whether it's a typically able child or a child with a disability really has opened up my mind of what's possible. It's where those differences start melting away. It's coming in and seeing the magic on the playground. It is joy, it's happiness, it is love, it's passion, it's compassionate. Shane's Inspiration and the work that this organization does brings joy and happiness and an impact in communities for years to come.
The idea that we can remove boundaries and that kids won't grow up like me avoiding other kids with disabilities, but actually making friends and playing with those kids, I think is going to make a big difference for everybody. And it makes a big difference for me.